Hello everyone. Today we are going to start learning more about fractions. So what do you remember about fractions? What is a fraction? What do fractions show and tell us? Let's look at the different parts of a fraction. If I have the fraction 1/4, what do we call the top and bottom parts of a fraction? There's a special word for that. Do you remember? The top is the numerator. What is the bottom one called? That bottom is called the denominator. And also, there's a special name, or a couple different names for this fraction. Whenever the numerator, the number on the top, is smaller than the denominator, what type of fraction is that called? Do you remember? Or when we have a numerator of 1. Let's look at this anchor chart. Types of fractions. A fraction is a number that expresses equal parts of a whole. So like that fraction 1/4, that could be a unit fraction. That is a fraction whose numerator is just 1. And it doesn't matter what the denominator is, as long as the numerator is 1. Then we have proper fractions. This is a fraction whose numerator is less than the denominator. So 4 is our number on the top, our numerator. That's less than our denominator, the number on the bottom. And this represents less than a whole. 4/5, that's not one complete whole, that's smaller than 1. Then we have improper fractions. An improper fraction. And we learned about these for the first time this year. This is a fraction whose numerator is greater than the denominator. So 16, that number on the top, that's greater than the denominator on the bottom, the denominator of 7. Next, we have a mixed number. So a mixed number, we have a whole number paired with a proper fraction. So my whole number is 3, and our proper fraction is 5/8. So this means that's 3 wholes and 5/8. In the comments, either on YouTube or on Google Classroom, I want you to list your own examples of an improper fraction and of a proper fraction and a mixed number. So tell me some examples that you can think of. Now let's look at our workbook page, and then I'll show you the Google Classroom option. So for this week, you'll have a few different options on some different days. You can either do the workbook option or the Google Classroom one, and I'll show examples from both. In 1 and 2, write the fraction modeled. So we need to write a fraction that matches this picture. So first, I'm going to count the total number of circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be my denominator, the number on the bottom. Now how many circles are shaded blue? It's going to be just 1, so that's 1/6. Now for number 2, how many total pieces do we have? 3. And how many are shaded orange? 2. That would be 2/3. In 3 through 5, write the fractions shown as the sum of unit fractions. All right, let's find our total fraction for this first. How many total pieces do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 is my denominator for number 3. Now, how many squares are orange? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7/10. So a sum of unit fractions, that means they want us to write out 1/10 plus 1/10 until we get to 7/10. Like this, 1/10 plus 1/10. And I don't have very much room, but I'll try. Plus 1/10, it's 5, plus 1/10, plus 1/10. Okay, so that was kind of like decomposing that fraction too. So 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 all the way up until that adds up to 7/10. Okay. Finish number 4 and 5. Then on the back, you'll complete 6 through 10. And then your choice, 11 or 12. Okay? Now let's go to what's posted in Google Classroom. This is looking at mixed numbers and improper fractions. You guys are so good at proper fractions, so we're going to focus a little bit more on mixed numbers and improper fractions. This first slide is asking you about vocabulary. So drag the definition to improper fraction and mixed number. Let's look at this one. A whole number and a fraction together. Is that an improper fraction or a mixed number? That's a mixed number. Let's look at this definition. A fraction where the numerator is greater than the denominator. That's an improper fraction. Now label it. Mixed numbers. So we have 3 and 1/3. 3 is my whole number. 1/3 is our fraction. Next part, circle the whole number. So we're given mixed numbers, and this is about identifying the different parts of that. So click and drag the oval over the whole numbers like that. Now circle the fraction. Circle each fraction listed below. So now we're identifying the fraction in the mixed number. What is shown? Drag the mixed number to the correct visual pizza representation. Let's start with this top left one here. So how many whole pizzas do we have? That would be 2. And then what is that fraction right there in that third pizza? How many pieces is it divided into? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's divided into fifths. And how many pieces are left? That would be 3. So that's 2 wholes and 3 fifths. Here's the next one. That's 1 whole pizza. And then what's that fraction for that other pizza? That's 1/2. 1 whole and 1/2. So click and drag that. Oops. There we go. Here's the next slide. Write the mixed numbers shown. So this is 1 whole, so I'm going to type in 1. Now we need to write this fraction here. How many pieces are here? That would be 3. So 1 whole and 3. out of how many total pieces are there? 4, 1 whole and 3/4. Let's do one more. How many total pies do we have? That would be 2. And now, how many pieces do we have left? That's 1 out of how many pieces? What is this divided into? Thirds, 2 and 1/3. All right, so same thing. We're writing the mixed number shown. So that's 1 whole pizza. And this one looks like one we saw earlier. 1 whole and 1/2. So notice how they're all divided into different parts though. Okay, so your denominators will be changing. So look at how many whole pizzas you have, and then you're writing the fraction for that last pizza that's left over. Read the mixed number, drag the cookie pieces to create the mixed number. This says 1 whole and 1/4. So I need to find 1 whole. Click and drag that here. And now I need 1/4. Here's 1/4. Just like that. Look at the fraction model, answer the question below. What is this fraction as a mixed number? How did you solve? So this would be, how many whole pieces are there? 3, and I'll just write it out, 3, and how many pieces are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 total pieces, and how many bites are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to say 3 and 5/10. I solved by counting the whole pieces and parts. So we'll do the same thing for slide 12 and 13. Now let's look at improper fractions. Some of the activities are repeating themselves. Circle each improper fraction. So remember, an improper fraction is when the numerator, the number on the top, is greater than the denominator, the number on the bottom. So 1/6, that's a proper fraction. What about 12/4? 12 is greater than 4, so I'm going to click and drag that and complete the rest of that slide. Drag the improper fraction on the right to the correct visual cupcake representation. All right, so this top left one, this is divided into 4 pieces. So that first one is 4 pieces plus another 4, that would be 8 pieces. No, 8, 9, 10, that's 11 total pieces, and it's divided into fourths. So it's 11/4. Let's look at this top right one. This one is divided into 5 pieces, so that's a whole, that's 5, plus the number of pieces to the second one here, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 is going to be my numerator, and it's divided into 5 pieces. 5 pieces will be my denominator, 8/5. Look at the fraction models. Write the improper fraction shown. So, I'll do this top right one. This is divided into fourths. Now we need to count that total number of squares that are shaded. It's 4, 5, 6, 7. And divided into fourths, 7/4. And you'll continue to do the same thing here for this slide. Write the improper fraction. Drag the chocolate bar pieces to create the improper fraction. Solve and explain here. And then that'll be it. So this assignment is posted on Google Classroom. Number 46, mixed numbers and improper fractions. Keep up the good work. I know that was a lot, so let me know if you have any questions.